Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and I hope you all had a fabulous weekend, as was extremely hot. Right, today more Halloween and more KSCRAFT, and we're doing the Shaker Kitty Cat today. Now this comes with various elements of little bones and cats, cobweb. I'm using the cobweb, I'm using the whiskers, and I'm using the shaker element of the card. There's also a little ghost in here, pumpkin, and it's kind of a left and a right facing cat. But what I decided to do was print off a free digital download that I found as the cat's face, and I think it's going to look a little bit, you know, Egyptian-y, Halloween-y. So we're doing the cat, and I've got some sequins here because it's going to be a shaker, and these are, I don't know if you can see them, I'll try and get a clear picture. There you go. So these are solid colour sequins, and I usually keep them stacked together in seasons, if you know what I mean. So I've got some black, I've got some orange. Now these are the black glossy star sequins that you get from Dollar Tree, and I'm not sure, but it might be this time of the year that you need to get them, and they come in such a huge bag that they last you for years. And then in here I've got my kind of Halloween gem and bead mix, and I might use a little bit of that. It depends on how deep my shaker turns out to be. So I've got my Halloween doodads up there, and I have done some die cutting just so that you're not sitting around forever. Right, so let me get my pieces together in the right order, and then we can just glue it. So you get two kitty cat sections, one is bigger than the other. I've gone with green for my background, and I've got a bit of fluff on that already. And then I printed out that digital face here on white cardstock, and as you can see, that's going to give a green outline that's going to tie in with the eyes. Now I've also cut the cobweb, but I want to trim this up, and I'm thinking I want it kind of, and I'm going to trim it, and I'm going to have a little bit just almost like a headdress on my kitty cat, I think. So I'm looking at the elements that I want to snip, and it's these 3 points here. So I'm just going to get my scissors and trim off these. So I want to keep the point pieces, so just make sure you're looking as you go so you don't cut too many bits off. Right, so I've cut those 3 little bits off there, and as you can see I've got like a little spiderweb tiara. So I'm going to glue that onto my face first. Right, I hope everyone's going to have an awesome day. Yes, I do. Ooh, and my glue's still working after the weekend because I haven't done any crafting. I've just been busy running around watering stuff. Now, I don't know how far off my paper this is going to go, so I'm just adding a little bit of glue for some security. So if I just grab that and think about my kitty cat having a tiara, and I'm going to go about there. Right, so anything now hanging over the edge, I'm going to snip off with my scissors. So I'm just going to flip that over, and we're going to trim this. Now my glue's still a bit wet and it's moving, so if you suffer the same thing, just take your time. And there might be a little bit up there actually. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue under here just to fix it down on that edge. And once that little bit is dry, I'm going to be able to trim some more off. But can you see what I mean? It looks very Egyptian. Could be like the mummy's curse or something like that. There, I'll go with that. So now that she's got her spiderweb tiara on, I'm going to now glue straight down onto the green. Just pick that up and flip that over. Oh, I did a tiny little bit of shopping on AliExpress at the weekend, and I won't tell you what I bought because I'll be excited to show you when it gets here, hopefully within a couple of weeks. Right, so I'm hoping I've got a reasonable even edge. And I just think that bit of green just makes the eyes pop. And I do apologise if my camera's going blurred. I'm going to try and get in there. Let's see if we can get some focus. There, that's better. Right. I thought I'd do it like this because it looks unusual. You can do it cute if you want to. If you've got your Peachy Keen face digitals, that's going to look absolutely awesome. Now, one of the things you don't want is any real gaps in your glue when you're making a shaker, because otherwise your bits are going to fall out of your gaps. I missed a bit there. Right, so now we're going to pop this right down on top of the white section. Try and line it up. Now my frame is cut from Dollar Tree foam board, and I have got videos talking about Dollar Tree foam board because, as you know, I absolutely love it because it's not floppy. It's manageable, you can pick it up, and of course you've got a cat section that has come out of this. Now, before I put any sequins into mine, I like to let it dry for a second. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I think that will be okay, and I'm just moving a few bits and bobs out of the way. Now, I want to pop down some black sequins first, and I know that this is going to be a shaker, but there are some of these that are large, and I'm thinking I want them in the ear sections and to remain there, so I'm going to glue those into position, and I'm just going to grab my pickup tool just to move them out of the way for a minute. So I always end up with bits of glue all over my fingers, and then it falls on top of my paper. So I'm going to the centre of my ear with a little blob of glue, so that I'm going to have some stars that are fixed in place, while others are, you know, busily shaking themselves around. So I've got 2 stars there. And I'm thinking if I go mooching in here, because the smaller ones in these, they always end up falling into the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. You get lots of small ones and medium-sized ones, so you do kind of, I'm going to use the lid, you have to pick through them. So if I do that and shake a few small ones out, I'll remove that, and then you should be able to see them. And of course the glory of sequins is they're lovely and static. So I'm going to put one on each of the pupils of the eye. I'm just going to offset it just to give it a bit of character. So I'm picking up this small one that fell on the table, and I'm going to pop that there, and then I'm going to grab one off here. I'm going to pop that there. So we've got starry little eyes, and now these I'm just going to tap into there. I've got a little gold bit, I don't know where that came from, and I'm going to get a few more of the medium sized ones because I only really wanted the large up in the ears, so any smaller ones I'm going to put here. And I'm wondering actually if I'm going to use my black sequins. So, and this is a large shaker, so it's one of those that you do need quite a bit of filling. So I'm going to shake that down and see what I get. Maybe I'll just leave a couple of large ones there. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll leave 3 big ones in there. Now I've got static. Right, so now I'm going with a sprinkle of orange, and these can often get, you know, stuck together, so just twizzle them around and single them out. And then I think I will just put a few, just a little pinch of the black in there. And then I'm going to go with some beads. It's a bit like decorating a cake, isn't it? Minus the static, of course. I'll get rid of that bit of fluff. Now I've got a selection of little beads in here. Some of them are bigger than others, so I only really want to go with my seed beads. And I think I might use some of those gemstones on the ends of the whiskers, because you do get whiskers with this. So I'm trying to make sure that nothing I use is going to stick up above the actual shaker frame. But you do want enough shaker in here, if you know what I mean, for it to be fun. So I'm going to go with that. Now I'm not sure if those bugles stick above, but we'll find out. But I think that's enough shakery bits in there. I do like those little orange glass beads, I must admit. And I have got some purple, but they're not going to fit, I don't think. Just go with one little last pinch, and then I'll take that bugle bead out. There. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to put the lid on that one, because this is one I'm likely to drop. Just for a second. And the next bit that you need to do is pop your piece of acetate on top. So you use your die, once again, that cut the white section. Oh, I've got a star there. And this will go down onto here. So we're going to pop our glue all the way around our foam edge. Once again, you don't want any gaps, because if you've got gaps, bits are going to come out. And if you need to, you can pop a book on top just to let it set. Sometimes I use one of my old dies, you know, the block dies. Steel Rule, yeah, that's the name. So I think I've got enough there. I just took a little bit of my glue off here actually with my finger. I'll pop that back. And then we're just going to pop down our sheet of acetate. So try to get it straight. Wiggle it about. Just remember you're going to get static. But if you do it with a little bit of confidence, you'll be alright. So you want to make sure that you've got contact. That's going to need to dry before you shake it or move it. There, that looks like it's on straight to me. I'm just going to turn it and make sure. Right, I'm going to let that dry and I will be right back. Okay, so I don't think that's going to move around now. And the next thing is your frame, which cuts from one of the other dies. And I've cut mine in black because I thought, you know, that would have a little bit of impact going on with that bit of green background as well. So once again, you need to put your glue down. So I'm going to go all around the edge. I'm going to use the stitch line as a guide. and I've got it down on my acetate rather than my frame because it's going to stay wetter on acetate than it is on your cardstock, which of course is going to absorb it, which gives you plenty of time, if you like me, to drag your glue around. So I'm just moving it as I go and trying to hit that stitch line mark. There. And now we need to get this on, so I'm just swizzling that around once again. Make sure you've got your frame the right way, and we're going to go down, and we should have just a few seconds in which we can manipulate it. And I think that's about right. So once again, before we pop the whiskers on, I just want that to dry, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the whiskers here, and you can decide whether you want your whiskers pointing up or whether you want them pointing down, and I haven't decided yet, so I'm going to pick this up now, and I'm just going to shake all of my shaky bits out of the way so I've got a clear vision of the face. And I'm just going to use my pickup tool and put a couple on here. I've decided I'm going to put some gems on the whiskers, and I just need to decide whether I want my whiskers up or down. So I'm just putting a couple on just to have a look and a feel for it, if you know what I mean. And I think I'm going to have my whiskers up, so changing the orientation of them while I've got them on the desk, and I'll show you how I do a couple, and then I'll run off and do the others, and then I'll come straight back and we'll pop them on. So I'm just moving them around on the table here, making sure that they're the right way around, because of course, as I'm always saying, you get a nice side and a rough side because of your cutting plates. Right, so I've got my whiskers here, and what I want to do with them is, I'm looking at them and I'm wondering if they're all the same size. No, they're not, you see. That one is longer and that one is longer, so we need to scale them down. It's a good job I looked at that actually. And now I'm looking at these. So we've got one medium and smaller. So yeah, make sure that you look when you're putting your whiskers on. I think that's right. Yeah. Okay, that's done. So unscrewing the lid off these gems again, and I think I'm going to go with green. So in here I've got like all my Halloweeny mixture, and I want to glue a green gem to the point that is going to be closest to the nose. Now you can decorate with ribbons, use bits of ephemera, you can basically do whatever you want, just have fun. But I think these are going to make it easier to kind of pick them up and position them as well. So I've got 6 whiskers and 6 green gems. And then I'm going to go with glue onto the ends. Does your glue set hard even after a few seconds in the bottle? Oh, I'm going to have to poke this out now to sort it out. Please forgive me for a second. Yeah, I might need to go and poke it further. I'll be back in a minute. Well, I guess there's a first time for everything, but the needle actually dropped inside my glue bottle, so I'm going to have to use quite a bit of glue before I can spot it to fish it out. But anyway, I'll use this tip that's with it at the moment, and I just want to put glue down on those edges. So I'm using my pickup tool. You don't want them touching. And I'm going to pop that down. And that is exactly what I'm going to do to these other 3, and I will be right back. Right, so I think they've had long enough to dry, and you can see what I've got in my bottle now. I've just got a pin in there, but I don't think it's a stainless steel one, and you have to be really careful with that because you know, you can end up with brown glue. Right, I'm going to start with my bottom first, which is one of the smaller ones. And I'm just putting a small bit of glue. So kind of look at your kitty cat and decide where you want it. I'm going to go there. And then of course this is going to have to dry again because I'm on acetate. I'm wondering if I want to go in there or if I want to push them more together. Now you can overlap them, but I think I'm going to go there and remove that bit of glue. See what I mean about movable time? So yeah, I think I'm going to go like that and spread that one out. So now I know where they are, I can just put them on. So I'm going there. And then I'm going to have to sort my glue bottle out. And then I'm going to go here. And now I just want to make sure that those are straight. And in line with each other. And they are. Right, I'm going to let those dry and we can come back and shake it. Okay, so I think that that's reasonably dry anyway, so we can get a close-up. There we go. So I've got those green beads. Those beads are kind of emerald green, but they're showing up blue on camera, and I don't know why that is, because they actually match the eyes. But we've got our shaky bits now. We'll give it a good old shake. But what I like is that you've got the star on the eyes and the ears, and they're not going to go anywhere, but there's still loose ones in there to move about. I love that. That would look nice with some of those little purple twinkly lights from Dollar Tree or something. Right, that is what I have for you today, and as usual I hope you have an absolutely awesome day, and as usual again, all links below. Bye.